This video I will show you how to write the equation of a parabola when you know the focus and the directrix. There are two formulas that we will use primarily. The first formula is the one up here highlighted in yellow. That is the one that pertains to a vertical axis parabola. A parabola that is either facing up or facing down. Okay. The other one, which I'm going to highlight in blue, is this is the one that pertains to an horizontal axis parabola. That is a parabola that is either facing left or facing right. Here is a parabola facing left or a parabola facing right. In both formulas, P is the distance from the vertex to the focus of the parabola. So if you have a parabola like this, here is vertex, here is the focus, that distance, this distance right here is your P. That's P right there. And then HK is the vertex. This is the vertex of the parabola, H, K. So we're gonna use do three examples. The first example is where you are given a focus of 1, 2. So I would plot that first, 1, 2, and a directrix at y equals -2. I will draw that line as well. And now, in order to accurately determine the location of the vertex, I suggest that you draw a perpendicular line starting from the focus straight down to the directrix, and then look for the midpoint of that line segment. So you can simply count the spaces, amount of spaces between the number of spaces between the focus and the directrix. Here in this example, there are only 4. There are 4 units. And so the vertex is going to be 2 units up from the, either down from the focus or up from the directrix. So I'm going to use red point there to locate the vertex, which is halfway between the focus and the directrix. Now, a parabola usually faces away from its directrix, or the focus is always inside the parabola. So we're going to draw this to be facing up. That's the only way it meets the condition that is always encloses its focus. So we're going to look for a square over there, and then a square over there, and then actually over here, and then draw the parabola. So sorry, there is the parabola, something like that. Okay, so it's facing up. Now we're going to determine P. This is our vertex, so kind of draw it better. The vertex is right there on the x-axis. Okay, so for this particular parabola, P equals 2. That's the distance from the focus to the vertex is 2. That's 2 units. And then our HK, the vertex, is at 1, 0. So my H H is 1, K is 0. So now we can actually use the first formula highlighted in yellow to write these equations, starting with y equals, if p is 2, then 4p is 4 times 2, so 4p is 8. So y equals 1 over 8. We don't need the negatives in the leading negative coefficient because it's facing up. Then we do x minus h, x minus 1 squared, and then plus 0, which we don't need to write. So we just write y equals 1 over 8, x minus 1 squared. Okay, that's example 1. Here is another parabola. The directrix is at s equals 2, so we draw the line s equals 2. This is this vertical line s equals 2, and the focus is at negative 4, 4, negative 4 and 4. So then we're going to follow the same procedure, draw a line, a perpendicular line from the focus to the directrix, and then count how many spaces are there. There will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the vertex will be located between them, halfway, midway. And then we can draw this facing left because it cannot cross over its own directrix. So it's going to face left. Something like that. This is just a sketch. So we know that we're going to use the formula with that's highlighted in blue. So, and then we're going to, let me copy the formula over here. 1 over 4p, x equals 1 over 4p, y minus k squared plus h. So in this case, p is 3 because from the vertex 1, 2, 3 is 3 units. P is 3, 4p will be 12, and vertex is at, the vertex is at negative 1, comma 4. So my h is h is 1, k is, h is negative 1, k is 4. Now I can just go ahead and write the final equation as x equals negative 1 over 12 y minus 4 squared minus 1. I just plug in the h and k. I plug in the h and k into the formula, and that's the formula for that parabola. Here's one more example. The focus of this parabola is at 2, 0. 2, 0 is over here, and the directrix is at x equals negative 3. X equals negative 3 will be this line over here. And then now I draw a perpendicular line from the focus to the directrix and look for the halfway point. This is 3 units between the focus and the directrix. Is 3 units, so we need to find halfway is going to be 1.5, 1.5. Halfway is 1.5, and the parabola will have to face up so that it doesn't sorry, I take that back. This is y equals negative 3. It should be x equals negative 3. Sorry about that. X equals negative 3 is a vertical line. Alright, so it's x equals negative 3. It's a vertical line. And then now it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. And that will be 2.5. So we'll be over here. Alright, apologies for almost misleading there. Okay, so the halfway point is going to be at negative 0.5, negative 1/2. So, and then the parabola will have to face right. So it turns away from its directrix. And now we can write what we know. We know P is 2.5. It's 2.5. 4P will be 2.5 times 4, which should be 10. And also HK. So my vertex is at -1/2, comma 0. So this is my H and K. HK. And now what I need to do is to plug it into the horizontal formula. So the horizontal parabola formula is x equals 1/4p y minus k squared plus h. So I plug in everything there. So it's facing right, so it has no leading, it has no negative leading coefficient. So s equals 1/10, and then y minus 0 squared, and then plus -1/2 will be -1/2. So if I clean it up, it will be 1/10 y squared minus 1/2. That will be the formula. Now here's the last example. Focus is at -2, 1, -2 and 1. That's the focus. And the directrix is that y equals 4. So I'll be careful this time. Y equals 4 is up here, it's a horizontal line for sure. And I draw a perpendicular line from directrix to the focus. And then count the spaces between them is 1, 2, 3. There's 3 spaces, so it's going to be 1.5. So P is 1.5. P equals 1.5 or 1.5. And then the parabola has to face down away from its directrix. So it's going to face down. That'll be a sketch of it. And now I know this is a vertical axis parabola, so I'm going to use this formula. Y equals 1/4p x minus h squared plus k. So if p is 1.5, 4p will be 6. And my vertex is at, okay, so be careful with this. So that will be at -2, comma 2.5. So 2.5 is 5/2 as a fraction. So what is left is to plug in the information provided now, h and k and p. So we're going to write y equals, now since this parabola is facing down, we need a negative leading coefficient, negative. 1/4p is 1/6, and then parentheses x minus h. So minus -2 squared plus 5/2. Now when you see negative, minus negative means plus, so we're going to rewrite it as 1/6 x plus 2 squared plus 5/2. This will be the equation. So it's pretty easy, just finding the hk and also finding p. By carefully sketching your parabola, it will be easy to just plug in the information into the formula. The formula is not hard to remember. It's just the main part of the formula is the p. The main parameter is the p and the h and k. And if you play around with it a little bit, you'll be able to sort of memorize the formula, and that's how to write the equation of parabola using the formula.